Welcome to Past, Present, Future, the Full Circle podcast, where we ask questions that nobody else wants to ask, but that you want the answers to. Please subscribe, share, and drop a comment so we know you were there. Let's get into it. So, Past, Present, Future, episode 24. So we are here with the incredibly talented Hakkz. It feels like it's been a long time in the works, to be fair. I was looking at my phone earlier and going through my DMs. I think the first time I DM'd you was actually April 2020, so nearly 2 years ago to the day, which is crazy. But as always, I'd love to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself briefly for those that don't know you, the few that don't know you, and then obviously we can go through the past, present, future journey.
Yeah. Obviously, I go by the name of Hakkz, upcoming artist from East London, Dagenham. And yeah, that's literally it.
Well, let's get into it then. So you say Dagenham, and it was going to be the first place I wanted to start.
Yeah.
Take me back, paint me the picture. What did growing up in Dagenham look like?
With me, I went primary in Newham, so it's not too far, but it's like a little 30-minute journey. But when I was growing up there, I moved to Dagenham for secondary. So when I was moving there, I was thinking, it's gonna be all my friends are in this area, I'm moving here. But when I went there, it was cool. Made loads of new friends. And yeah, since then, just been going at it.
What was that like then? Because we've had a few artists from Newham on. So you mentioned Gino J, also Tiz East, and one of the things that they were quite consistent on is kind of the area struggles and stuff like that. So what did that situation look like, you being in Newham and then moving to Dagenham? What were kind of the struggles that presented themselves?
You know, it is because I was young. I wouldn't say I was thinking about the struggles necessarily, but I'd say mainly at that point, I was just thinking about my friends. Because we're all thinking, we're going to go this secondary, this, that, the other. Then I just move. And then I was thinking, this is a mad move. I don't know anyone there, literally. But when I moved there, I was there for my whole secondary and literally onwards. So after that, I just made loads of new friends, new networks.
Why did you move?
I don't even remember. It's just one of the ones that it was out of my control. I just had to go in it. And then once I was there, it's it was different, but it wasn't too different because I was still seeing my friends from Newham, but I still had to make that journey. So it was just a bit long, but I adjusted well.
What was your reaction like? Because you spoke about you had it all planned out. You were going to go to this secondary school, that secondary school with all your friends. And then I'm guessing your parents dropped the news on you. We're moving. How did you react?
Yeah, I was just annoyed. I can't lie. These times, I think my little brother was about to be born. So it was either just before or just after. So it's just loads of adjustments. It's cool, now I got a little bro, now I'm moving. And it was just confusing. But I just went with it.
You spoke about adjustments. And I guess you have to adjust to struggles. So specifically growing up, what would you say your main struggles were?
I can't lie, I had a good upbringing, for the most part, always roof over my head, clothes on my back. But as far as struggles, I would just say, just adjusting. At that age, it was literally just adjusting, to the move. Because where you're going somewhere, you don't know no one, it's a different territory. You're thinking, who's this person? Who's that person? When I'm going into the school, everyone, there's already groups of friends, they know each other. I'm just there. So just get me, finding myself.
How did it feel to be the outsider?
I didn't feel like an outsider because the type of person I am, not that I make friends quickly, but I'm easy to get along with. So it's within once I did year 7, it was basically cool with everyone. So
Easily adaptable. And you touched upon your parents, you always had a roof over your head and stuff like that. So, I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but your mum is from Zimbabwe and your dad Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to understand, what did kind of the family dynamic look like?
It was cool. It was do you know what it is? Because I have the best of both worlds. I got the African side, I got the Caribbean side. So I feel like I use that a lot in music as well. It relates a lot because from my upbringing, I was always listening to African music, like all the Zim artists. I even ended up going to Zim as well for like just a quick holiday. I went to Jamaica as well. So it gave me two different outlooks on two different cultures. 'Cause I feel like if I was to have one, I wouldn't fully understand the other. So it just gave me ability to understand both.
Yeah, just diversified your mind, and that's obviously correlated into the music today, which is amazing to see.
Yeah.
I'm interested to understand, and kind of like I have this conversation with a lot of people that we speak to. How clear would you say the picture of your ideal career or job role or whatever was within your parents' mind? Like, how strict were they on you're doing this, you're doing that?
In terms of music?
No, so in terms of like, oh, go and be a lawyer, go and do this, go and work. Like, how clear was that picture of the ideal path for you?
To be honest, I started music after like my mum passed away, because she had passed when I was like 10. So after that, I was already playing instruments a bit, but then because my pops is like very musical. So I can't lie, he actually, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been so musically inclined. Like, he always encouraged me, pick up like the guitar, pick up piano, like try learn things. He was always on a thing of like, even if it's not something I pursue, it's good for my memory and it'll help with school, because a lot of the time, like, you have to memorize things, hand-eye coordination, all them type of things. So I just implemented it really. Yeah.
And you touched upon one thing there. I'm so sorry to hear it about your mum passing away. I'm in a similar position, to be honest with you. I was slightly older, and it's a horrible thing to go through.
Sure.
One thing that I said before we started filming was we aim to have these kind of difficult conversations, but not just for the sake of having them, to hopefully help other people, because unfortunately losing a family member, a parent, is not a unique situation. A lot of people go through it. But how did you cope with that situation specifically?
I ain't take it well, because this happened like a week after like my birthday, literally like 7 days after I turned 10. So after that, it's like I was still doing music, like not like rapping, but I was playing guitar. But after that, I was like, I ain't want to do nothing. Like, it just made me like less focused in school, like less like available, like to talk to people, because I would be thinking like, you don't even know what I'm going through right now. But these times I'm having these thoughts at 10, like everyone else is thinking, let me jump on the slide and the swings, all these things. But these times, that was it. It was difficult, but I feel like everything happens for a reason, in a way. So it's like, What
was the turning point when you kind of, I guess, not overcome it, because for me personally anyway, it's always there, but it's kind of like there's like a kind of point when you say, actually, so a bit like what you've just said actually, where you view it as everything happens for a reason, and you're thankful that, like you said, you had an amazing upbringing. What was kind of the turning point for you when, I guess, you stopped feeling like the victim and more you were grateful for what happened in the past and moved forward?
I can't lie, it was probably music, because it's like, it's just another way to express myself. Because I know that's a mad generic answer.
It's true though.
But it's like, sometimes it's easier to record a song than to like, to be talking to someone. Because me, I'm the type of person that, like, I don't like talking to people about certain things, like, at all. So it's like, music, it allowed, even though at the time I weren't rapping per se, even if I'm learning something or doing something in my spare time, it's just more of like an escape. Yeah.
And with that in mind then, so saying music was the turning point, music was the escape, music was the way of you expressing how you were feeling.
Yeah.
How good did you feel then when you released that track? I don't want to miss the name, but We Live It. When you were 14, 100,000 streams, I think, on SoundCloud. So so you're 10, obviously this horrific incident happens. You find music as a way of expressing yourself. You release that at 14. How do you feel?
Do you know what's mad? Hey, you did your research though. But when I dropped that, I can't lie, at the time, because like how I got into music. Obviously, I was doing instruments and that. Then I started making beats. Then I thought, right, let me just try jump on one of my beats. So that was literally the first one I jumped on. Even the mic I recorded on, I had to hold it. Like, you know them performing mics?
Yeah.
Cause when a mic like this, I was just rapping, da-da-da-da. I've released it now. It's got like 2,000 plays on SoundCloud. I was thinking, rah, I kind of walking into school, you get me? Thinking, yeah? But after that, it was like, I just said, yeah, cool. Maybe this music thing, let's see where it goes. Yeah.
And then fast forward a few years, you release a few tracks, including Georgia, through a label, right? So what did that experience look like?
Obviously, even prior to that, like when prior to that, I had got management. So when I was dropping, when I dropped that first song, there was literally no management. When I dropped that, I made it at home, throw it on SoundCloud the week after. With no promotion. I didn't use Instagram like that. So it was like, after that, like, after I got management, it just gave me more structure, more of a like understanding of how the industry actually works. But yeah, so back to your point about Georgia and with the label, to confirm something, I'm not signed, by the way, but that song specifically was signed. It was just a short time, just a quick single. But it was cool. It was one of them ones where it was a first time experience for even me and my management using a label. So we're literally just getting used to the process, cool, how this works, this needs to be in place, etc. So even helped us with structure for even our own strategies, etc. But
what would you say is like the main thing that you learned? So say, I think you expressed that when you were 14 and when you got management, when you're releasing Georgia, you learned a lot about the industry, how it works, the structure. What would you say is the biggest lesson you learned that you would pass along to your 14-year-old self to benefit him?
I would say fail to plan to fail, because it's one of them ones where if there's no plan in place, you're kind of just winging it freehand. And don't get it twisted, that works for a lot of people, but the success rate for just winging it isn't the best. But I would say, yeah, plan and preparation for sure.
It's interesting. So was it just the one song then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally.
How did it do?
Do you know what it is? What's mad? It was meant to be a bit longer, but I didn't really like not how they released it, but once it was out, I was thinking, right, so is this what a label does? Like, I could have done a lot. Don't get twisted, they did do a lot of things that was completely out of my reach, but it was more of a thing of, like, a lot of these things I could do myself. So the next one, the song straight after, I dropped independently and it did better than theirs. So I just thought, let me just run with that. And I just kept going.
Which track are you referring to?
Again and again. Yeah.
Again and again. And then this side followed that, right?
No, that was before? Earlier. That was the song before Georgia. Yeah.
I think that's my favourite of the three, to be honest. Yeah, this side's a big one.
Yeah, for sure.
But to kind of, I guess, tie up the past section, and I think there's a lot of incredible gems then, and also thank you for being so open on some of the personal stuff as well.
Sure.
But from the past, and I guess this kind of ties into the concept, what would you say is like the biggest thing that you can take from the past that benefits you in the present moment?
I would say literally just planning. I can't lie, that's the biggest thing. It's like, it sounds like something small, it sounds like something that could easily be done, but I'd say definitely planning, or having a structure, or having a, like, even if you have an idea to do something, it's good to like think of it backwards, think about the process to get to what you want to do. As far as, like, sometimes it's easy to look at the goal and think, cool, this is what I want, but like, you have to take all the baby steps in between to like achieve what you want to achieve.
It's a really good point. And to talk about planning and to move into the present phase,
yeah.
What are you planning at the moment?
Right now, I got an EP coming out in May. By the time this is out, it should be like close to when it's releasing. But yeah, literally looking to release that. It's gonna be called Diary of a Lite Kid. So it's based on like, you know, the book Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So it's like kind of a diary with 7 tracks. So it's like each track is like a different day, if you get what I mean, of a week. So when you listen to the EP, it's like you're spending a week with me. It's just a diary that I've written. And yeah.
How so I'm interested to know this. So I guess emotions for me anyway fluctuate day to day. And you're talking about this is the average week. So how far do like kind of the emotions differ from track to track, and I guess in turn day to day?
Yeah. I'd say I speak on a lot of experiences, like as far as like I go from talking about grinding, like being on the come up, working, like then I go into speaking on the girls. I touch on heartbreak. I touch on life experience, living, learning. And yeah, it's literally like a week because no one's happy 24/7. Or no one's sad 24/7. As you said, it fluctuates. So that's what I try to put into the project. And then, yeah.
And how accurate would you say so the lyrics or the emotions or the track motives are in alignment with your real life? How accurate?
I say very accurate. I say very, because it's one of them ones, I can't speak on everyone, but I have to like actually live to make music. Like I can't just be in the studio for a month straight. Like I'll start talking about studio equipment and that. Like I'll just be dead. So I gotta live life to then speak about the experiences in the studio. And then, yeah, that's how they all come out.
I'm glad you've said that because you've set me up perfectly. You said heartbreak. What was the situation?
To be honest, the track I'm referring to is an interlude. I wouldn't necessarily say it's about heartbreak, but it's about trying to find out the intentions of your like significant other and like their agendas, like being like wary, because like I can't act oblivious. Like I don't do music. Like certain girls might have certain agendas, so etc. But that's what I speak about in the song.
How much have you struggled with that in the past then?
I'd say nothing crazy, but like you do notice like certain things, certain attitudes that are brought to you, because it's like when you're dropping music, you're always in people's face. People want to be around you. Like it's natural. That's why I can't even get onto them, because it's natural. But yeah, that's literally what it is.
Quick one. Our sponsor, the 1994 Collective, are experts in PR and radio plugging. If you're an upcoming urban artist seeking airtime and to scale your audience, drop them a message and let them know we sent you. I think that's a really good point, actually, and it's probably one that artists, especially up-and-coming artists with a buzz experience. So what's your coping mechanism for that? How do you kind of filter out the people that you think have genuine intentions and the people that are potentially just doing it for the ride?
You'll never know, because it's like, especially with music, I'd say industry-wise, there's always like a trade-off in terms of, if someone wants to do a song with this person, that there needs to be a benefit for both parties, you feel me? So it's a thing of, people aren't gonna say, yeah, this is my intention. I want you on the song so you can do this. But it's like you just know these things that it's just part of the industry, to be honest. Yeah.
Part of life.
Yeah. Everything.
For the EP then, let's like put a scenario on the table. So you have a potential fan sat across the table from you, and the fan says, how would you describe the EP in 30 seconds and why should I listen to it? What would you say?
I would say I describe it as fun. I describe it as thought-provoking, and it kind of like lets you into my life, because I feel like for my career I've just dropped loads of singles. I've never dropped like an official body of work, and I feel like if someone's never heard of me, when they now go see it, cool, this is his first EP, can see this is like another starting point. It's like another chapter for me. And I feel like once this is out, now I can dig deeper and speak about other experiences through music. But I feel like where this is like chapter 1, like you can't read everything in chapter 1. But you get me, to be continued.
You referenced then you feel like you've dropped loads of singles, this is your first project, etc. Why do you think you've hesitated until this point to release a project? Why is now the right moment to release a project?
I'd say it's the right time because now I've got all the experiences that I needed to make the project. Because I could have, because I feel like a lot of times, a lot of projects are just like a playlist of songs people just put together. But like, even down to the structure of the EP, like it's like mad cohesive, like it tells a story, there's different topics. It's not like every song is lit, or every song is just a vibe. It's like, I try to vary it a bit, show some variation.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think it's good to get out there because if there is someone potentially listening, they want like a little elevator pitch from you to say, go and listen to it. It's good to get that out there.
For sure.
Going back to the emotions from the EP and the varying emotions. So a lot of what you read about, you listen to, etc., says that happiness is found within the present moment. So wherever you are, that is where happiness is found. When are you at your happiest?
I would say when I release music, because I feel like I go studio a lot and I have a lot of songs, like probably over 100, 150 songs that aren't out. And I think on Spotify I've only dropped like 15. So it's like people see these 15 songs, but it's like they don't know like this, like the whole crate that I've got is like complete other like experiences, like even down to genres, like whether it be experimental with one beat, etc. I just try to keep it mixed up. But yeah, I just try to just show them my emotions through the music. Because me, I'm not really a talkative person. Like I might not be the loudest in the room, but when it comes to music, I try to put all my emotions into it.
Yeah, I think that's really important actually. And you raise a good point about the happiness being found when you release music, but at the same time, I think it's the same whether we release content, anyone releases something that you've spent a lot of time on, you've put a lot of effort into. How much like apprehension do you feel when you release music, whether it's going to be received right, whether it's going to do the numbers that you want? How much apprehension do you experience?
Like my type of thing is, it's like, whether you said if it will be received right, but the way I see it is like, no matter how good a song is, someone in the world won't like it, but someone in the world will. So me, I know I like it. So it's one of them ones, I'm never wary or they might think it's not that good, because at the end of the day, there's going to be more coming, more. If you don't like this one, you will like the next one. If you like this one, you might not like the next one. Or you could like both, but my thing is, like, I just try to feed the fans, because, like, at the end of the day, they're the reason why I am where I am. Like, it's not me that's listening to my songs a million times. Like, I don't listen to my music once it's out like that.
Why?
I don't know. I prefer to listen to the unreleased joints.
Okay.
But yeah.
When releasing music, what's been your toughest moment?
When releasing music, I would say toughest moment. I'd say maybe the pandemic, probably during the pandemic, because I feel like you could probably relate as well. It was different for everyone. It's an experience no one's been through, so it's like finding how to adjust, whether or not I can shoot a music video, even getting into studios was long. So yeah, I'd say that was the hardest part, but just had to adapt.
With that situation in mind,
Yeah.
how would you say it affected your career growth? Because I guess some people would say,
Yeah.
oh, actually, like, I had time to find myself, I had time to do work behind the scenes, and actually it's benefited me now. Whereas other people would say, no, like, I was ready to go. Like, do you know what I mean? How would you say like it stunted or elevated your growth within the industry?
I'd say it helped, but it didn't help. So it's like, it was good and bad, because I feel like everyone needed like a break, because the pandemic was like a break. You could just take a step back, fully analyze everything, and like once we're out, it's go mode, straight back to it. But I'd say, yeah, I wouldn't say it affected me really, because when the pandemic started, I started producing again more. So I started just looking in, because I couldn't record. I was just thinking I have to be productive somehow. I just started producing again.
Is that how you became pandemic proof?
You know, it was mad. I didn't make that one during the pandemic. I made it like, say, probably like a couple months after we were out. So towards the end of the year. But yeah, literally.
But I guess that's just showing that you made the most of a bad situation, and whilst you couldn't shoot music videos, do this, that and the other, you put that time into production, which is a mindset that not that many people have. I think a lot of people would just view that as, I'm on furlough, I can't do anything, and just like kind of, I guess, live in quiet luxury, whereas you kind of put that time into something productive, which I think is admirable.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good. So I wanted to transition into the future, and to do so, I sometimes like to kind of gauge where you're at the moment versus where you want to be in the future. So I guess to put a scenario on the table, if like 10 is you selling out the O2 3 nights in a row, whatever, and 0 is before you even started music, where would you say you are now?
I'd say on like 1.
1.
On 2.
Okay, 2.
On 2. But I'd only say that because like the vision I have and the trajectory I have for what I want to do is like very far from where I am now. Even though like some people would look at it as think, bro, you're doing your thing, like you've got millions of streams, you've got this, that, the other, but in my eyes, like I'm nowhere near where I'm going to be. So it's just about trusting the process and just staying down on the journey.
Well, let's talk about that, because you say I'm nowhere near where I'm going to be, or I'm nowhere near where I want to be.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be in the future?
It's going to see me everywhere, literally everywhere in the world. On shows in Tokyo, sold out, O2s, everything. Literally trying to go back to Jamaica, do mad shows, work with those artists, even international collabs, trying to do everything.
What drives you to accomplish those things? Because those are things that are not easily achievable, right? You can't just click your finger and be like, I'm selling out shows in Tokyo and the O2.
100.
What drives you?
I would say mainly just wanting better for myself, like, cause a lot of hard work goes into it. So it's like, it's only right that I feel like you get what you deserve, you get what you work for, I mean. So you just have to work for what you want to do. Like, if you don't put the work in, like, you can't complain if something don't work. Literally.
With that in mind, how much work do you put in to ensure that your future goals are going to be accomplished?
I need to do more. But I'd say a lot though, because I've got a lot of songs that are unreleased. I even tap into like editing videos, tap into production. Like with me, I'm very hands-on. Like I like to be really hands-on. Like even from the start, I was editing videos, like music videos for people before I had my own music video. So it's like, I'm very hands-on, so I like to be like involved in the creative process, whether that's from mixing the song, getting it mastered, getting changes back for a video. Like, I like to be hands-on for sure.
How does that affect your relationship with the videographer?
Nah, it's never nothing crazy because I would like a lot of my videos, I don't edit them myself, but I would edit like the previews.
Yeah.
Because I want this clip here. I want the title to be here. Like I'm very picky. Like there could be something very small I meant to post in 10 minutes. I'll say, nah, we've got time, let's change it. 5 minutes, get it changed, post it up. But yeah, I pay attention to detail a lot, for sure.
Yeah, I'm the same actually. I mean, I think it's a blessing and a curse, isn't it? Because sometimes it's like maybe I am being too granular, but at the same time, it's that standard that you wanna reach. So that's interesting. From like a personal perspective, we spoke a lot about music, but like for you, your family and stuff like that, what does like the ideal life look like to you in the future? Just being able to like have freedom, like for all my family. What does freedom look like though?
Get them my house. If you wanna fly out tomorrow, we can go. Like literally, like world's my oyster. Like literally no boundaries. And I feel like a lot of the time that's what I do it for. It's not necessarily so I can have the latest hoodie, the latest hat, this, that, the other. But yeah, that's what I do it for. Just the family.
That's interesting. When I say the word future, and I've asked a few people this recently, and it's kind of interesting because I get a variation of answers. But just the word future, what does that mean to you? What's your immediate reaction?
It's just on things that's to come. So like projects, singles, videos. Because you see how I told you I've only dropped this project that's about to come out. Like I'm not trying to be like I dropped that and no project for 2 years or 3 years. Like, I'm trying to just keep hitting them. Like that's one thing I'll say to expect. Just loads of projects, loads of content. Yeah.
And the future, I guess, like for me anyway, there's like kind of two emotions that I feel. It's either like, again, like apprehension or excitement. Like, would you say you're wary of the future or more excited?
Nah, I'd say excited. Excited for sure. I know it's good things to come.
There is good things to come. So I think to be transparent, that is most of what I wanted to run through with you. But I always like to give people the opportunity to kind of to leave a message. So even as well, sometimes what I invite people to do is tell themselves something 5 years from now. So when they're watching this back, they can see if they've accomplished it. So what would you like to sign off the conversation with?
I just say make sure you're looking out for all the music coming out, hella videos, hella projects, even content outside music. I'm trying to get into other things, but you'll see. I don't want to talk about everything straight away, but there's some other things in the pipeline. Just loading, literally. Just ready to give it to them.
That's it, bro. And I have every bit of faith that you will get to the heights that you've expressed that you will get to. So, from my perspective, I've been a fan for a couple of years now and an admirer more than anything of your work. And
I appreciate
I'm glad that we could finally get in the same room. So I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm excited from a fan perspective to hear the EP, and I know that others will be too.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it, bro.
No, thank you. So the last two questions that I have to ask everyone, they're just like our signing off things. So firstly, I mean, how have you found it?
What?
The conversation.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, it was lit. Do you know what it is? I like the questions you ask because it's like a lot of interviews are mad generic, like just the same old questions, like I'm like a script. But like you really dive into that. Like, as you said, past, present, and future. Yeah, that's why I rock with it.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. And the last question, so obviously to kind of expand our network and to get new guests on the show and stuff like that, we ask everyone to nominate someone to come on that they know or that's within their network. It could be an artist, it could be a producer, videographer, manager, label owner, festival founder, really anyone like within the industry. Who would you like to see have a conversation with me on this platform?
I want to see you do an interview with a producer called Jules. Literally. He's a producer I worked with for ages. He did the beat for This Side, Georgia, Again and Again. Which ones am I forgetting? This Side, Georgia, Again and Again.
Pandemic.
Nah.
You done yeah, you're right, that's it though.
Nah. Nobu.
Okay.
Hypnotized.
This Side,
Next Up.
Georgia. Next Up. Basically every single song between Nobu and then Again and Again.
Yeah.
All duos.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can tell him why I should come on.
Get me, Jules. I want to see you here. Literally. Make sure.
Let's get it. Nice one, bro. Thank you so much.
No stress, bro. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Love my guy.
All done.
Sweet.
Nice one, bro.